about this practice teaching that I think in many areas that I need to be improved. This course, I start from the zero-based student. So the first question I want to talk about is about how to choose the teaching material as for the zero-based students. Most of my piano class, I prefer to use John Thompson to start the piano lesson. But this teaching material, I think, is more suitable for the slightly elder children, because these books start from the music theory. At the beginning, you need to learn the notes, all kinds of different notes. So maybe it's too boring for the younger children, like 4 or 5 years, and it's really difficult for them to understand the conception. So as for the 4 or 5 years students, I prefer to choose Bastien or Faber to start their piano lesson. Then the next question I want to talk about is about how to improve their interest on their piano. Interest is a very important key if the student can persistent learning. But I choose this teaching material, to be honest, is if you teach the students from the order, it may be a little boring. So I need to add some interesting games or tell some interesting stories for my students to improve their interests on their piano lessons. The next question I think is that I need to improve is about improve the students' concentration during the class. Different students have their different characteristics, so I can't use one teaching method to teaching all my students. For example, if a student is very naughty or activity during the class, so maybe I need to more strict. But to be honest, I'm a very kind person, so this area I need to improve. And if I teach a very shy student, so I need to play more games or tell some stories to make the students pay attention to their class. Then I want to say is about I always neglect the students' feeling during their piano lesson. I like to teach them what I thought. I neglect if they can understand what I said, or if they can get the new knowledge. So during the class, I think that I need more communication with my students, and I need to know their feeling all the time. The next question I want to say is, I think I lack the courage to my students. If as a teacher you didn't have the confidence on your students, your students will more unconfident on themselves. So I think during the class, you need to give more courage instead of more critique. I think give more courage can make the students believe themselves and can persist learning their piano. The last one is about the assessment after the class. At the beginning, they start to play the piano. As a teacher, you need to ask them, know the importance about practice the piano, because if they didn't raise these good habits at start, so maybe it will more difficult to develop this good habit later on. So as a teacher, you need to let them know their practice is really important. That's all the reflection about this practice teaching.